Hi everyone, this is a video lesson on how to perform calculations and solve problems using ratios. Can you please complete this starter first and then come back on the video with your answers ready to mark. Okay, so question 1 asks us to look at that picture there. We have got to decide the ratio first of pencils to rulers. So pencils to rulers, the number of pencils comes first. 1, 2, 3, 7 pencils and 3 rulers. We spoke about on Monday, if our ratios are round the other way, rulers to pencils, then the number of rulers, 3, has to come first, our 2 dots in the middle, and our 7 afterwards. Simplifying ratios, we divide both of the numbers by the same number. We have to use a number that divides both of them. So for 2 and 6, we can't, for instance, use 3. We have to divide those by 2, giving us the ratio 1 to 3. In B, we can divide both of those by 7, giving us the ratio 1 to 3. And in C, we can divide both of those by 2, given the ratio 4 to 3. And D, we can divide both of those by 5, given the ratio 12 to 5. Okay, hopefully you remembered that from the start of the week. Now we're moving on to look at problems with ratios. So that's the learning intention, using ratios to perform some calculations and solve problems. So in this example here, we have got that a B&Q mix, other hardware stores are available. They want to mix green paint in a ratio of yellow to blue with a ratio of 2 to 3. Now that tells me there's 2 parts yellow and 3 parts blue. So our question and our task is in the purple box. For a larger order, B&Q used 10 tins of yellow. We want to work out how much blue they have to use. So I'm going to set this out in a little table. And the column headings are going to be yellow and blue. Okay, so the actual ratio ones that I've got. So it's yellow to blue, and I'm going to do this in a process. The ratio of yellow to blue is 2 to 3. So that's all of the information contained in the blue box. Now if I use the information contained in the purple box, I am looking for 10 tins of yellow paint. So underneath the yellow paint, I am going to put the number 10. Now this is essentially what we did with fractions when we found equivalent fractions. We had to multiply both top and bottom of the fraction by the same number. In this case, that is what we do with our ratio. We have here multiplied the 2 by 5 to get up to 10. So we then must do the same on the other side of this ratio to make the number 15. Now this whole piece of work in here is great, wonderful, but it doesn't quite answer the question. We're asked how much blue is required. All we need to write is a couple of words that tell us how much blue is required. So we need 15 blue tins. Okay, and that bit there that I've popped the bubble around, that is how we represent our answer, 15 blue tins. We do the calculation and then we relate it back to the question. Let's try another one. Bob and Ben share a bar of chocolate in a ratio Bob to Ben 3 to 5. Might just have been a coincidence that one of them gets some more. That's how they've decided to share it. Not exactly fair, but that's how they've decided. So it's Bob to Ben. Bob gets 3 and Ben gets 5. So if there was one chocolate bar, and there was 8 pieces, Bob would get 3 of them, Ben would get 5 of them. So again, we'll set out the calculations in a little process. So Bob to Ben. The ratio is 3 to 5. We don't have to find this, we just have to use it. Now this time, Ben gets 20 pieces. So the piece of information that I know from the purple part of the question is that 20 can go underneath Ben's name. Now we work out our calculation and we can find out how much Bob will get. 5 up to 20 I have had to multiply by 4. I'll need to do the same on the other side with Bob's share. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 is my final answer, but I need to relate it back to the question. So Bob will get 12 pieces. Okay, please remember to do that section down the bottom there that I've put bubbles around. Make sure you relate it back to the question. A single number answer is unfortunately not really enough. Okay, yes, you've technically answered the question, but you need to relate it back. One more of these. So we have got a particular strength of plant food. We have to mix fertiliser and water in the ratio fertiliser to water 2 to 3. So again, our process. We have fertiliser to water was our ratio. That was 2 to 3. So fertilisers first, water second. So Jerry actually uses 10 measures of fertiliser. So he's maybe put a bit too much in. But that's okay. All he has to do is put a bit more water in. So we've got to work out how much he's used here. Times that by 5 to get up to 10. Times it by 5 here to get up to 10 as well. Take that to 15. So how much measures of water is required? 15 measures of water. Okay, that was the same numbers there as the first example, just with a different context. Okay, so I want you to set them out in this process, set out your question in this process, especially because you will see some slightly trickier answers later on, and it's best if we keep that process going so that that's always the same and you're just filling in the blanks. Okay, as always, your instructions are on the Teams page. Off you go there just now, and please keep in touch and ask any questions if you need to. Okay.